Hi and welcome to Hansoft. My name is Ebba, and in this video I want to show you how Hansoft can help software development teams becoming more productive. Let's start by logging in with Programmer David's account. So, Programmer David is mostly going to work from his to-do list. This to-do list is exactly what it sounds like. It's an always up-to-date list of all the tasks and bugs that have been assigned to Programmer David. From this page, he will always get a real simple overview of what's expected from him. When Programmer David is done with this task, he will set it to complete, and maybe he'll also add a comment. As you can see, this news feed here to the right just got updated with this action from Programmer David. So now everyone will know that he is done with this. From this news feed, he can keep track of the things that are happening within his team or project. And if he sees something that he wants to react to, he can start a chat with this person who posted this. We can also click on a task or a user story to navigate to the project view and the place where this task originated from. So, Programmer David has access to this information, but he's likely going to spend most of his time working from his to-do list. And this to-do list is detachable, so he can have this sitting on the side of his screen while he's working in other tools. Projects can look very different in Hansoft, and we're just going to spend a second to look at some examples. But let me start by just changing the account to Manager Bill instead. Here we have an example of a small agile project. We're looking at the sprint backlog, which we can choose to see in this hierarchical way, but we can also see this in a prioritized way. So in this view, we can reprioritize by just dragging and dropping these items in this list. We can also choose to look at this in a board view, and in here we can zoom in and zoom out of these user stories. We can assign the stories to different team members in the sprint and indicate progress of the user stories by just dragging and dropping them here from not done to in progress, for example. Here to the right, we have our sprint burndown, and if we go up, we'll see our releases and release burndowns here. The user stories we got in the sprint backlog are obviously coming from the product backlog. And in here, we can work with our user stories. We can create new ones. We can create a hierarchy here. And we can commit these user stories from the product backlog to the sprint backlog by just dragging and dropping them there. So we have all we need to run a Scrum team here. But as I said, projects and programs can look very different in Hansoft, so let's have a look at another example. In this project, you have a team here working with agile methods, just like the one we previously looked at. But if we scroll down, we have another team here working in classical scheduling. This is just as easy to manage as any other method in Hansoft. Some of our customers are running pretty large programs where many teams are working in parallel, delivering to the same releases. So let's have a look at that can be set up. In this program, we have a release schedule, which is common for all the teams laid out at the top. And if we move down here, we can see that we have several Scrum teams working in parallel. We can also take a look at the product backlog, where we can see that this is basically a backlog of backlogs, where we have all the user stories organized in different sections, or maybe we can call them feature areas. In Hansoft, you can also delegate sections of the schedule or the product backlog to empower teams to take responsibility for their parts. this section here has been delegated to product owner Tara. And when she starts working, project manager Bill will instantly become aware of what she's doing. At the same time, he may be working in another part of the backlog. So everyone is working together here in this one product backlog. Some of our customers like to display Hansoft on a screen in a conference setting. If this is interesting, you should be aware that you can zoom in and zoom out so that people in the back of the room can see what's happening as well. So let me move on to our final example of a project, and here we're using a Kanban to indicate progress of our work. Here we can pull these cards between the different steps in our process. And as you see, we support multiple swim lanes here in case some of the steps can happen in parallel. The point with showing you these various examples is to show that Hansoft is flexible and doesn't dictate your process. It allows team to work in different ways, even in the same project. So let's take a look at the defect tracking part of Hansoft. In each of these projects or programs, we have a full QA database. In here, we can report bugs, and in each of the projects define what process or workflow to use when handling the bugs. In here, we can just add new statuses and modify this to make sure that this mimics our process. We also have a portfolio perspective in Hansoft. And from here we can look at, for example, issues or blocked items across the whole portfolio or programs. We also have something called portfolio allocations. In here we can see how people are allocated across different projects or programs. And you can look at this on an individual level or on a group or a project level. There's also a full document management section in Hansoft. In here you can check out and check in your documents. You have a full file history, and you can always roll back to previous versions of the document. So you can do a lot of things in Hansoft, but in the end of the day, it's the simplicity of the tool that makes it really work. If the team members actually like using the tool, it will increase the accuracy of reports, and it will empower them to do more. How much potential do your teams have?